Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 837. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
Chris in Edmonton.
And Chip in Durham.
Yay!
Yay,
Hello,
Chip. Chip is here again because just to even out the number of people on this podcast who are going to Gallifrey One at last. This is our Gallifrey One preview edition. Gallifrey One obviously being a little different this year because of the global pandemic. In case you're listening back from these 2 years later or something like that. Yes, this is the Gallifrey One in the middle of the global pandemic. That Radio Free Skaro will be represented by me. Alone this time round, but Chip is here because Chip is a massive part of the live show. So it was important to get you on, Chip, for this. How you doing, Chip? How you keep it in there?
I'm okay, but I'm a little confused. We're talking about Galley? I thought I was here to talk with Warren about one of the Expanse books or something.
Mm-hmm. In fact, why don't we do that right now?
Absolutely, Warren. How about that?
I haven't read one word. There you go, done.
I know. I not only listened to, I edited the incomparable episode about the Expanse where you and Katie were teleported off while they talked about all the books that you haven't read. So.
Excuse me, teleportation is not a technology that is present in the Expanse universe.
I was spaced singing a sea shanty that I learned
that's a good reason to space you, by the way.
Yeah. You watch a show like The Expanse, and you suddenly hear people singing sea shanties that you learned from Great Big Sea, and you're like, "What in the world is going on here?"
I was
Canadian music knows all.
I was disappointed but not surprised that none of your esteemed co-hosts on the podcast knew who Great Big Sea was.
We can't avoid this, you see, thanks to Canadian content rules.
I am doing great. I'm looking forward to Galley. I'm anxious and relieved simultaneously.
Yep.
I am depressed.
It's everything. All the feelings.
I know what you mean. We had our friends Annette Kirsten over to watch apparently the entire half season of Wynonna Earp yesterday and record 6 podcasts about it because they hadn't watched it and to do a podcast about it. And it's been a year since that season came out, and we were so careful that we all took rapid antigen tests. It's the first one I ever took in on my own. I used to take them a lot in the summer of 2020 working in the NHL bubble. And up until then, I was like, "Oh, I've got COVID. I'm sure I've got COVID. I'm sure it's going to be there." I'm slightly tired. Oh, it's got to be COVID. Oh boy, I sneezed twice in a row. There, it's got to be COVID. And so, I was pleased when that single little red stripe came across my test. And
I am quite sure, Stephen, that and people from various geographical areas of our two countries have both shared with us that this is entirely fiction.
Well, who could mistrust them after all the incredible and important and accurate data they've given us about elections and people's backgrounds and swift boats and just to bring it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should be fun. So I'm looking forward to the process of getting to Gallifrey One to be over. I mean, I've had a flight redirected. I have to get a test. I have to go through, all the nonsense is sort of compounded a little bit extra with this sort of stuff. But it's almost here. It's almost here. And once I'm on the ground or even in the air, let's face it, from Vancouver to LA, I think I'll feel a lot better. What about you, Chimp?
Same. And I'm really looking forward to reconnecting with Doctor Who, just to sort of peel back the curtain a little bit. I've been in a semi-normal world since March of 21. My wife is a teacher. I work for a school system, and it's been work. It's been wearing a mask, but being in a workplace for a long time, and it's exhausting, but sort of being in and out at the same time. But at the same time that all of this has been going on, Doctor Who finally came back for Flux, and I was recording weekly episodes about it and arguing with friends about whether it sucked or not, and everything was sort of normal. And then right afterward, when we got to the holidays, I think the last 2 years just sort of really caught up with me. I'm looking forward to releasing an episode soon about the New Year's Day episode that came out 6 weeks ago.
Right.
It's been so long since I've been on this show. It's been so long since I've been in front of people talking about Doctor Who face to face, masked or not. And I'm going to be going to Los Angeles, and I'm going to be seeing on a stage Joe freaking Martin, Mandip freaking Gill, Sasha freaking Darwin. The thing that I'm most excited about for returning to Galley, there's going to be more elbow room because fewer people are going to be there. That's a plus and a minus. It's going to feel a little safer because of the vaccine mandates and the masks and the distance and all that stuff. But it's also going to feel very different just based on the people who are going to be on that stage. And it's uplifting and distressing all at the same time that we're going to be there to celebrate Joe Martin's Doctor. And so many actors and creators of color at a time when a lot of people have made the sensible decision not to go because of their own concerns. It's going to be full of all of the feels.
It'll be a lot. I know. I agree with you. I like you. I know, Warren, you've kind of been more or less sequestered. Chris has sort of, entered the working world a little bit. But I've Erica has basically been working from home for 2 straight years now and has barely left the house, whereas I sort of go out into the world to get groceries and stuff, but and go to work, but I work with a small group of people. So the social aspect, I find myself being much more of a social butterfly in grocery stores and stuff. I do miss the.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, get in, get what you need, get the hell out.
I don't know. I miss conversations. I kind of I count myself as a sort of an introvert who hates awkward silences, and so I often tend to fill them with banter. And I've missed the banter. I've missed the buzz of a convention. I've missed running around and trying to get interviews and stuff like that, which I intend to do perhaps on a more relaxed scale this coming weekend. But I think once we get into it, it'll feel normal, so to speak, I think, even though we'll all be behind a mask or something like that. I intend to spend as much time as I can outside.
Yes.
Because it's going to be in the low 20s all week in LA, which in Celsius, I don't know what that is for Fahrenheit, but, room temperature, low 70s or something like that. I might adjust my schedule and sort of ease into it that way, but it's not something I'm not used to, so it should be fun though.
I mean, I had the pleasure of spending some time with you and a couple of our mutuals a couple of weeks ago doing the weirdest bloody thing I've ever done, which was playing virtual poker with an Oculus Quest strapped to my head.
Yep.
Oh dear.
And it was like only in the last 2 years, fewer than 5 times have I actually sat at a table, virtual or otherwise, with people I don't live with. And that was wonderful. And I think that reminded me, as goofy as it was, that that Galley is something to look forward to. Thanks again to my level of comfort with the vaccination mandate and the masking and just a certain amount of faith.
Are we gonna do a Galley meetup in a on the Metaverse? Is that what you're saying, Chip? Is this
Please
we
don't
are
call it the
not.
Metaverse. By the way, speaking of the Oculus Quest, Stephen, I had to praise you for using the Oculus Quest to watch a recon. I've never seen a more Stephen thing in my life.
I watched episode 1 of the Space Pirates in VR the other night, and it was great.
Of course you
My
did. Of course
God
you
in
did.
heaven, Stephen.
Had to be
It
the
was
Space
great.
Pirates.
Yep. I was thinking, you know what? It's time to because so my daily quest. Paul Booth, who's going to be at Gallifrey One, has been the only person that I've seen on Twitter who regularly updates about watching an episode a day leading up to the 60th anniversary. I got to the Space Pirates. I basically I'm not going to be watching it over Galley, so I'm basically going to watch a bunch of this. I'm going to finish the Space Pirates before Galley and then catch up with the War Games after Galley. And so I rolled right into the Space Pirates and thinking, you know what would be really iconic for this last ever missing episode or missing story is to watch it in VR. And it was great. It was great.
My word.
Really?
What lunacy. I just can't bring myself to get an Oculus Quest because I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to get any of my money.
I know. Yeah.
Define great. Define great about watching in a fake theater a highly pixelated, even more pixelated than usual, 4:3 image of telesnaps.
I make fun.
I don't know.
I make fun, but
Yeah.
as a fellow tube cam enthusiast,
Right.
I really have no leg to stand on here.
You know, you find your joy in these days, and you know, I'm not ruining anyone's life by watching a telesnap recon.
That's what you think.
Episode in VR.
Only those who follow you on Twitter, perhaps.
I mean, I said it was the most on-brand thing I'd ever seen. So.
Yeah, it was so me. It was 100% me. Anyway, we should probably actually do the preview show because I really am looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. Because you know everything sort of seems kind of normal in a way, but there are stuff that is not happening. You know, like the masquerade is canceled. Instead, it's sort of a costume showcase, so to speak. You know, there's still dining options outside. There's there's, as Chip was saying, there's masks, there's vaccines and everything. But and probably I don't know a attendance count of just south of 2,000 maybe. Usually they cap it at 3,300 in normal times, so it'll be a lighter attended thing, which I think, as you say, Chip, is potentially more comforting. Will it seem that much though? I mean, honestly, 2,000 people in a hotel will still seem like it's there's a bit of a buzz going on at the convention, so I don't know how small it will seem, but we'll see when we get there. So yes, the Thursday when you get in, convention registration starts 4:00 on the Thursday until I think 8. I remember the scramble every year till 10. Actually, till 10 is when it is. Of usually we go on a Thursday outing or something like that and have to rush back to somehow find the window to register for the convention and always seem to miss it. But has anyone ever gone out on the In-N-Out Burger run? I never have because they don't have a
Not
veggie
that
burger.
one, no.
No, I've gone to In-N-Out Burger, but not in that run, no.
Yeah.
No. Well, I haven't either because they don't have a veggie burger. So,
Just the grilled cheese.
yeah. Then there's but the ice cream social is happening at 8 o'clock. I've never been to that either. Never been to the. I don't know. I only seem to ease into the official programming when it's our turn to be a part of it. I guess
I don't know if ease in is the proper way to put that.
Right.
You are never eased into the opening show.
No, it's usually panicking
Yes.
about it, but. I'm mildly surprised that karaoke is happening, I have to say, but I don't know how you sing through a mask. I suppose you can sing through a mask, but...
Hockey players can play through an N95. People can sing through a mask.
Victorious Canadian hockey players.
That's true, yes.
Korea's Canadian lady hockey players.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Well, karaoke. I've been itching to do some karaoke. We'll see. We'll see if I get there on the Thursday night, but the big thing for us anyway is the Friday, of course, kicking off the convention as we do with our live show, Radio Free Skaro in Flux, because we have some people from Doctor Who Flux there, but also because pandemic. Sylvester McCoy, Matt Strevens, executive producer of Doctor Who for the last 3 seasons rather, Jonathan Watson, John Davey, Steve Gallagher. Me on stage. Chip is my trusty producer and sidekick. on the side stage.
Your cyborg co-host?
My cyborg co-host. We're giving Chip a mic this year, which is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that, Chip. Are you looking forward?
I just want to hear Chip say balls a lot.
I don't think that's anything to do with the show. I just want to hear it.
I miss Craig Ferguson. I'll just say it right now.
Come on, James Corden is ably... Wait a minute, I can't even finish that sentence.
I will do my best to try to find the metallic mohawk.
Not a requirement, but no, it's gonna be fun. Around 11, I think it's what, half an hour, 75 minutes. Is how long the show will be. I know it's sort of going up against a couple other things that start at like 10. I think the dealer's room opens at 10 as well.
Yes, that old conflict.
Yeah,
Warren's gonna miss the Whovians of TikTok meetup.
Am I gonna miss it? No.
I mean, let's face it. Every year we do a Gallifrey One preview show. We often go through panels and say, "Oh, this will be good. Oh, we'll go to that," but we never ever go to it. So, in many ways, you and Chris, Warren, can just look at the schedule and go, "Oh, that would be fun to go to," because you probably have just as much a chance to going to it
probably,
this year.
Yes, that's a good point. Also, I'm slagging off TikTok, but I'm also an old man. Whovians of TikTok is not for me and never was. So, I mean, don't listen to a word I say. If you're into TikTok and you're under 30, then I think you probably should go.
Hey, this is the year that I'm probably committing to more panels and stuff than ever before. The people that I named before, but also just missing people, elbow room, figuring out how to socialize and things like that. While I'm doing that, sitting in my mask, watching cool people on stage, and just sitting and relaxing, that sounds golden. So I filled up my schedule, and I think I'm actually going to make it to most of them.
That's exciting. Wow. Which panels on the Friday are you thinking of checking out then?
Well, now I have to actually look at that. But I'm excited for the Sacha Dhawan and the Mandip Gill interviews. Mm-hmm. Riley, our good friend Riley Silverman, is going to be interviewing Mandip at 3 p.m. I'm excited for that. There's a live episode commentary for an adventure in space and time that may catch my attention.
Yes,
that's
me. I'm doing that one. We'll talk about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plenty of stuff on the Friday.
Yeah, I know the Sacha Dhawan interviews at 12:30 on. Is it the main stage? It's got to be the main stage because it's Sacha Dhawan with Matthew Sweet doing that one. And you said Mandip Gill is 3 o'clock that same one with
that
Riley.
She is.
Which is awesome. Yeah, I think I will. I think I will check both those out because oftentimes I don't go in, because I'm busy. I'm running out and getting interviews and doing other stuff. I mean, I do have like 6 things that are on my personal schedule to do this weekend. But there are things that I definitely want to check out. And that's one of them. Of course, there's photo studios is still happening throughout the whole day. There's autographs, there's cafe clatches, all that. All that's done proper and stuff. Everything is on the photo ops are on the main floor, like basically with where program B used to be. Essentially, I think is where the photo ops are this year. So just to keep people spread out a little bit. So that's how that's going. But you did mention the live commentary. An adventure in space and time. Apparently, this was Matt Strevens wanted to do. This is his suggested. First off, he wanted to come to Gallifrey One. Secondly, he wanted to do a live commentary of this. Sean Lyon offered me some, like here, from these 6 panels, which ones would you like to do? And the first one was a live commentary with Matt Strevens and Sacha Dhawan, because Sacha Dhawan has a VIP meetup at 6. Conveniently, I think if we press play on An Adventure in Space and Time at 5, Waris Hussein has his last scene in the elevator at about 6, so he can jet off right from there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I watched that episode for the first time in a while last week in preparation. I will have to watch it at least twice more before Friday to remove any feels that I have, so I don't start crying.
That's not going to happen. Come on.
That's God, it's so good. When I see the part that surprised me was David Bradley. I forgot about that bit when he's like he did.
Oh, that part's it's all great.
When he's like he holds the same pose for like 4 minutes, and then he says, "I don't want to go," and it's like, oh, you've completely changed David Tennant's last line for me. It's
As did Stephen Moffat.
Yeah. It's so great. So I'm very happy, very very pleased and lucky to do a live commentary for that on the.
There is also something else happening at 6. Let me just.
What's that, Warren? What's happening at 6 o'clock?
Let me tell you, friends of the show, Kim Rogers and Sage Young, are putting on again the fan video happy hour. And I may not be I'm not going to be at Gallifrey One, but I will be there in spirit because one of my new fan vid will be there, and you may want to get there early to see that one in particular, and all the other ones. There's an hour 45 worth of fan vids, so go see all of them.
Right.
But, especially mine. But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to let people know that that's a thing that's happening
During the commentary,
yes, in fact, during the commentary. I don't make the schedule.
I know.
When Waris Hussein is off the show, just leave the commentary.
I guess you can,
Exactly.
I guess
What else could possibly happen there?
come back immediately return. Go watch Warren's video.
No,
Immediately come back.
Absolutely not. Go see all the videos.
I know. This is
But if you can't, they'll probably release a playlist after the fact, like they always do. So there you go.
Yeah, that's true. The Friday night, there's even guest reception for those who've paid up for that. There's the Idiot's Lantern live show, which happens on the Friday night as per usual, which is great. I like that there are still regular things that have always happened at Galley still happening. It's kind of fun. Karaoke's there. Chip, are you gonna get in the karaoke stage this year?
If I can find the good song.
Yeah.
If I can find the song that I can sing. That's a limited range there, buddy.
I do hope they disallow Meatloaf songs this year.
Oh God.
There might be some tributes.
Else there might be a lot of those. No disrespect. I enjoy the man's music. But
Disrespect. Mega and COVID denier who was felled by COVID. I will disrespect the hell out of it. Never liked his music in the first place. Cancer upon Alberta radio. There you go. Done. I'll take the hit on this one.
Wow.
No fan of the music. Good in Fight Club. That's about it.
I will only be singing Phil Collins
and Rocky
songs.
Horror.
No.
Fine.
I'm on the Paul Cornell has seen fit to invite me on the Cornell Collective again this year, which is at 10:30 at night, 10:30 on the Friday night, which is of course his comedy panel. Me, Jody Hauser, Amanda Ray Prescott, Kim Rogers, Joseph Scrimshaw, Riley Silverman, Sage Young. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm a pro at work at slipping a water bottle under my mask and having a drink without actually ever removing it, and I'm going to be using that to drink a water bottle full of vodka 7, I think, probably.
And is this recorded or not recorded?
It's not recorded.
Not recorded.
No. Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Definitely not recorded. Got to be
People
there
have
to believe
careers.
it. Right? It used to be recorded, but then it thought, you know what? Let's not record it so we can say even crazier things that don't have to be held against us at a later date, and so that's what's going to happen there. So you're going to be there for Chip. I feel like our social crew is a little smaller this year, and a lot of them are just going to be up on that stage. So if you are there, Chip, I will appreciate your support.
It is a strong possibility.
That's good. That is good. Oh boy.
Because apparently you have to be up for 9:45.
I just realized that. That's going to be fun. Yes, I'm doing the second of my 2 live commentaries. It's happening at 9:45 in the morning. War of the Sontarans, episode 2 of Flux, with the very amusing Jonathan Watson. I've been watching a bunch of his stuff on YouTube and stuff. He's pretty renowned on mostly Scottish BBC television, actually, as a comedy actor and stuff. So I think we'll have fun talking about him riding a horse as a Sontaran in War of the Sontarans at 9:45 in the morning after the Cornell Collective. That should be fun. Anything jump out for you on the Saturday, Chip, that you're thinking of attending?
Saturday? Something's happening on Saturday? I'll be conscious. Possibly the fan panel looking over looking over Flux and Jodie Whittaker, primarily over Jodie Whittaker. The cause Jodie, I Still Love You. My friends Amanda Ray Prescott and Riley Silverman will be there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to duck in on the Star Wars Over the Decades panel. Riley,
Bloodsport, ahoy!
I don't. Riley's interests and mine just sort of converge, because if there's a panel that Riley's doing, I'm probably actually going to be there. But Jodie Hauser's going to be there as well. Having gotten through 7 episodes of the Book of Baby Yoda, I'm really interested in seeing what people have to say about Star Wars this year.
Like I said, Bloodsport, ahoy!
Perhaps plugging your appearance on a future Uncoppable episode, which will pretty much come out at that same time. I think it's coming on Saturday. Your episode about the Book of
but then the big things on Saturday, on the main stage, I'm really looking forward to the current series panel that Matthew Sweet is hosting with Sasha and Mandip and Joe and Matt Strevens. But 1 hour after that, the pièce de résistance.
Right.
Kim Rogers, Sage Young.
Yep.
Fraser Hines, Sylvester McCoy, this or that.
Oh, dear God.
This is possibly going to be the most epic hour on any Gallifrey stage.
It usually is. I'm intrigued to see how Kim and Sage do with, because usually they've had a couple of nice. I mean, nothing will top the Katie Manning, Ingrid Oliver.
I was going to say, that was barn burner.
It was, but they've always been just spectacular and fun and amazing, and with no restraints. I look forward to what Fraser and Sylvester have to say for themselves.
Fraser ain't all that restrained to begin with, so
that's true, very true. So. Yeah, it should be a last. When is the? I'm flipping to the schedule here. Where is the Flux the panel, Chip?
It's main stage.
Yep,
main stage at 4 p.m. and
4
then
p.m.
Main stage at 5 p.m. is this or that.
There it is. Team TARDIS 2022. That's the one. Okay. Perfect. Well, I might just stake out a seat for that too. Although, I'll be on the main stage, I think, on at 3:00, which is the Doctor Who Animation Domination panel, which I'm moderating with Martin Garrity, Rob Ritchie, and Gary Russell, cats who've been responsible for animated Doctor Who episodes until, of course, I haven't had anything else because apparently BBC America's pulled out. So I'm going to get the dirt on what's going on
you
the future.
Better, or you're in big trouble, sir.
Yep. So that won't be recorded, but I will tell you all about it on a podcast later about that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's the Blu-ray panel too. I missed when it was, but I'm all over the panels about physical media when it comes to Doctor Who. So I'm going to be going to the Blu-ray one, and I'll be on the animation panel. So that'll be fun stuff on the Saturday. What else happens on Saturdays? There's Would I Lie to You, which is still taking place. It's usually the halftime show of in the Masquerade, but there is no Masquerade. It's just the game show with Paul Cornell, Stephen Gallagher, Michael Jason, Chase Masterson, Lisa McMullen, Colin Spall, and Matthew Sweet. That'll be fun. Always a fun time. Paul's a good galley game show host, and there's also the death match too, isn't there? The Paul Cornell death match. I don't even remember what the category is this year. Is it monsters? I think it's Doctor Who Monsters or something. I don't know when that is.
It's on the Friday at 6 p.m.
Friday 6 p.m. That's the one where they ask contestants to rate and review and knock out. It's basically a knockout tournament for monsters until Paul arbitrarily decides which one should win.
Yes, the panel that declared the Third Doctor the best Doctor ever.
Yeah. And Terrence Dix was well, I mean, come on, it's Terrence Dix, but the year after he died, he was sort of acclaimed as the greatest writer of all time in Doctor Who, and I wasn't going to argue with him. So,
no, even if it should be Bob Holmes, Terrence Dix is quite a fine choice.
Yep, yeah, honorary degree, basically,
pretty much.
The game of Rassilon is at 6:00 on the Saturday, so. A few friends there playing the Doctor Who role-playing game.
That's right. Based on the podcast with Dan.
Based on the podcast, yeah. Exactly.
That's happening. So I think they've done that for the past 3 or 4 years now, haven't they? Sort of a live recording.
Pretty sure
of
they
the
have,
podcast.
Yep. It's been going on for a little while. Yep.
Yeah. So it's very cool. I'm intrigued because the Saturday night is usually the social night, and I'm really intrigued to see how the social aspect of things happens when it comes. Like I'll be very careful about wearing masks and everything like that. It's like I'm like how much will we let our guard down, Chip? Not in like, hey, let's all remove our masks and that sort of thing like that. But how do you think it's going to be, Chip? When we're all sort of behind a barrier in a way, but having fun with friends.
I'm trying my best not to have any expectations, only hopes. We're going to be in the same room with people. We'll find out. We'll find out. My personal hope would be that LobbyCon moves outside somewhere where people feel safer and can enjoy each other's company. Sip a drink real quick before putting the mask back on and just reconnecting.
I would hope that too. I mean, I'm going to do my best to like literally do all my recordings, like the day. What I hope to do is for the show is actually put an episode out on the Saturday show. Let's see here. Have we usually put out the live show on the Friday? I think we have usually.
I believe we have, yes.
Friday or Saturday, it's varied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes Saturday morning.
I'm going to try and put it out on the Friday, and then the Saturday might have an episode, or it might be the Sunday and the Monday. I'm not too sure, depending on what gets done. But all the recordings I want to do outside of the cheap showiness of nature. Because it's safer that way. And also it's nice outside, so why not? I rarely have to have the chance to record outside. It seems so that I want to do it.
But
safe.
Listeners,
yeah.
Everything's going to get more complicated. So if it comes later, then no surprise. I mean, that's not anybody's fault. It's just everything's going to take more time to do.
Yeah, that's true. But it's the first Gallifrey one in 2 years. I kind of wanted to get back to back in the day when we used to do 5 episodes in a weekend.
That was lunacy. What the hell were we thinking?
Ridiculous. And I didn't want to sort of like just like bank stuff and release it over the. I kind of wanted to get back into that sort of. The buzz experience, so to speak. And so yeah, I look forward to multiple episodes this coming weekend from this old podcast and stuff. So should be fun. I'm looking forward to that bit as well, which is let's face it, has sort of been my Gallifrey One has just sort of been not work, but getting stuff done. It's just that
working vacation. How about that?
Kind of. It's just the way. It's just how I like to feel involved with it all. When you have a bunch of people from my favorite show that believe it or not, none of them ever seem to come to Edmonton for me to do this, and so
very few come to Vancouver too.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm going to England and stuff, and they're just like walking by, and they're all just meeting at a Starbucks or a Costa Coffee or something, or and I can just grab them all there. If they're going to be there, I'm going to take the advantage and the opportunity and meet up there. So yeah, expect some podcasts this weekend. The Sunday will be
you're gonna kick off your Sunday with a hopefully very happy.
I hope it's going to be nice. I'm moderating a panel called Remembering Elizabeth Sladen with Tommy Knight, who's making his Gallifrey One return after his legendary first appearance. 2010? Like, goodness me.
2010, yeah.
He's probably a middle-aged man now at this point.
Does he still have the kilt of ribbons?
Oh, I cannot wait to see if he does, because that was legendary. Sadie Miller, of course, Elizabeth Sladen's daughter, and Gary Russell, who obviously knew Elizabeth Sladen throughout her life and was the...
worked on Sarah Jane Adventures.
Worked on Sarah Jane Adventures as well. So there's 3 distinct... approaches there, remembrances of Elizabeth Sladen, and I'll be moderating that, and I hope it's definitely a celebration of her life. I cannot believe that she left us 11 years ago. That seems like
that's insane,
ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, early morning panels. That's my bailiwick. This Gallifrey One around. This will be a challenge, but I'm sure I'll be fine. But Sunday's often usually kind of like the more laid back day, which honestly is what we all kind of need. But Chip, do you have anything that sticks out for you on the Sunday?
Well, you're making me scroll all the way back to the My Schedule link now.
I'm doing my best. I've tried to give you a bit of. I mean, there's the Doctor Who Writers Roundtable. I like writers, and with Paul Cornell, Matt Fitton, Stephen Gallagher, Jodie Hauser, Tony Lee, Lisa McMullen, John Peel, Gary Russell, Matthew Sweet, all moderated by Lynn M. Thomas, which from Verity, which it would be cool because writers. I'm always intrigued to hear about writers and the making of. So that's at 1:00 on the main stage. I will be looking forward to that. I think I'll probably go to that one.
Yep. And then after that, a couple hours later on the main stage, we've got the Matt Strevens interview with Gary Russell. And I'm really, really interested in that one. Matt Strevens is an executive producer with the BBC. He's not going to spill a lot of tea. But I am dying for more and more information as much as possible about how Flux was made. And how everything that they had to deal with when COVID fluxed everything up, and I'll be at the edge of my seat for that. And then
good thing he's on our show too, Chip. It's
I know, but you'll try, I'm sure, and I'm sure Gary will try too. But between all of that, I think that I'm going to soak it all up.
You'll get nothing.
There's
no dirt whatsoever.
There's thankfully the possibility that now that he's an ex-Doctor Who executive producer, maybe he's going to be allowed to say more than he would have otherwise.
Big flask of tea he's going to have. And just, there it is, everyone. Get your cups ready. I'm going to spill it.
You guys live in a fantasy world. Man still has to work in television. He's not spilling a damn thing.
And then 45 minutes later, again, Kim and Sage are going to be rocking it this weekend with their interview of Joe Martin.
I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy they got that. That is such a cool interview and a cool event, and it'll be huge. I mean, that's kind of like the climactic event in a way because it is the last big thing on the main stage. And golly, what a legacy Joe Martin has done as basically a doctor who's not even a full-time doctor. Shows up in 3 or 4 episodes, and she's a bloomin' icon. So
she's a whole other generation, not even generations, just 3 years later, a war doctor. But it's basically the same thing as a war doctor.
Yeah, very much essentially. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there for that. Closing ceremonies too. I don't usually attend them because I don't want it to be over, but I kind of have in the past couple ones just because it just felt right, and I think going to this one will feel right again, just because hopefully next year it'll be more back to normal. I know it's, it might seem naive, especially for those of you listening back, catching up on episodes that are 4 or 5 years behind. Yeah, this is the episode where I'm hopeful for 2023. But I feel like gathering together for the closing ceremonies for this one is.
Here's an example of how things have changed. The last one I went to must have been whenever they got rid of the old carpet, because I was there with friends of the show, Meta and Brian, and they tried out. We're getting rid of an old friend next year, and they get out the carpet, the old Gallifrey, iconic Gallifrey One, terrible carpet, and I yelled, "You monsters! How dare you!" And then I turned as they were doing a soliloquy for the carpet to turn to Meta. I'm like, "Why am I getting really sentimental about a really ugly, hideous carpet?" She's like, "I know. What's happening?"
That we bought squares of.
Yes, that I own, carpet. That I have sitting in my living room right now. And little did we know how weird things were going to get past there.
It is odd. It is a wonderful place. I mean, I got married on that carpet, for crying out loud. It's Gallifrey One has always been just a special time, and this will be a unique time this time around. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun nonetheless. I hope to bring all the fun to you and the listeners, and hope to not say, "Oh, I wish I was there" and everything like that. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best. I should point out also, this is really great news, boy oh boy, because this is one of my biggest worries getting wiped off the map there. The LAX Marriott, along with the Guardian, Guardian Testing, are hosting a free PCR and rapid testing facility. It doesn't require test result, insurance rather, with rapid test results in less than 10 minutes and PCR tests within 48 to 72 hours. Canadians need a PCR test to get back into the country. So pretty much on the Saturday, maybe even the Friday, if I have to wait to 48 to 72 hours for test results, I'm going to get that and then have that for the flight back on the Monday. So that's a big thing. Thank you very much, Gallifrey One, for doing that, because I was like looking at Google Maps and Walgreens locations or something to try and run out and get a test sometime this weekend. This simplifies my life a great deal. Chip, you don't have to worry about this though, do you? Or do you? I don't know how it works for you.
I mean, I don't have to do that. There are no testing restrictions, although it's recommended, of course. I've got boxes of rapid antigens ready to go.
That's where you and I differ, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they're so more available here than where you are.
They probably make them there. That wouldn't surprise me if they're made in America.
But what do you need? What do you need to get on an airplane though? Like you need just a rapid antigen test, and like
they don't care if you're vaccinated in America. Nope.
No.
It's more of a border thing. It's a border thing for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but we still have to prove that we're vaccinated to get on a domestic flight, and Americans do not, as far as I know.
No, yeah, that was in place a long time ago too in Canada. So, yep, we take things a little more seriously than you down in the States. Just saying. But,
and just to be fair, we do have people occupying Ottawa right now, so we're not wonderful, lovely, pristine individuals.
Yeah, idiocy knows no border, and
exactly,
neither does COVID apparently. So
we have stupids too.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. Also, I should also mention that, boy, oh boy, they got Andrew Robinson and Dominic Keating from Star Trek Enterprise. Andrew Robinson, Garrick from Deep Space Nine.
Plain and simple Garrick.
But I like to say that Una McCormick's apparently coming to Gallifrey, and I'm very happy.
I don't think she
parasocially. I thought she was.
No.
I thought that's how she said she was, but I was very happy parasocially when I thought this was happening, because Una McCormick, I'm sure she's already met Andrew Robinson anyway, but she just loves Garrick so much that I wanted to see. Yeah. I wanted to see some like pictures of the two of them together.
Yeah, God, he's a fantastic. I mean, he was the Scorpio? Was it Scorpio in Dirty Harry? My God, one an iconic villain performance in that movie. From 1971.
He's great in tons of stuff. And it's stuff where you go, oh, wait a minute, that's Garrick. What the hell?
Yeah, he's such a good actor. So good as Garrick. He's going to be there. Just like, oh, by the way, Andrew Robinson, iconic Andrew Robinson's going to be at the Gallifrey One convention on the Friday afternoon. And he'll also be at the guest reception. I mean, man. Oh, it's great. Anyway, Gallifrey One. I'm looking forward to it. I wish more of you could come this year. I understand why you can't. I wish Warren and Chris, you two, were going to be there. I understand why you can't. But we will do our best to hold the flame aloft to keep it burning for another year until the world is ready to host a full one. Yeah.
Things aren't quite as nuts worldwide, disease-wise.
Exactly. Anyway, the full schedule, GallifreyOne.com. One final reminder before we move on is, the live show. Already Radio Free Skaro live show, 11 a.m., main stage, Friday, Radio Free Skaro in Flux. It'll be fun. We'll kick off the convention, and then away we go. So there. Let's look back.
I'm surprised disappointed really that you didn't get to use the phrase, should you survive?
Don't use that phrase, please.
Yeah,
don't use that phrase.
I thought I'd subtly stepped over that without mentioning it, but then Chris pointed it out. Thanks a lot.
Way to ruin everything, ruiner.
Thank you, Chris. Let's dip back in time with the Time Lash. Our look back at this week in history in Doctor Who, mostly just broadcast dates, as I say. I want to point out before we start that I watched. Not only did I watch Space Pirates Part 1 in VR. But the couple dates before, I watched Seeds of Death Part 5 with the infotext on, and it said this episode was recorded on January 31st, 1969. And remember a couple weeks ago I talked about January 31st, the last day of the Get Back sessions for the Beatles. While they were filming that, they were wiping about 100 episodes of Doctor Who. So not only were they wiping 100 episodes of Doctor Who when the Beatles were doing, they're wiping 100 episodes of Doctor Who while they were recording another one, and it just really crystallized the ephemeral nature of television back in those days.
We are really going down a Steven tunnel here, aren't we?
Oh, man. What a dark time. Just wiping them. Anyway, the Web Planet, folks, started February 13th, 1965. A bunch of giant ants and butterflies in a Vaseline-smeared world.
Which is clearly not a soundstage at all.
13 million people watch that, folks. 13 million people watch the Web Planet in parts.
Well, yeah, thanks to the Dalek Master Plan.
Oh, sure, yeah. They were still coasting from that. But Chip, have you ever seen the Web Planet?
Bits and pieces, not the whole thing.
Okay. It's probably best that way, actually.
And of course, extras in Menoptera costumes, etc., in the background for an adventure in space and time, which was just glorious.
That's true. Have we ever had Menoptera cosplayers at Gallifrey One? I don't know if
probably. Somewhere along the way, probably.
We absolutely have.
They damn well better have.
Thought so.
Zarbi, on the other hand, I'm not sure, but Menoptera, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That'd be tough to get the Zarbi in there. Anyway.
Where's a Macra? Why is nobody dressed as a Macra? Come on.
There should be like 3 or 4 people in a Macra. Just
I have a whim, and now make it.
Yeah. Just like,
but
I wonder
there's no such thing as Macra.
I wonder
that's a good point, yeah.
Has anyone at like a Star Wars convention, like, 7 people crammed inside like an inflatable Jabba the Hutt costume or something
That wouldn't
like that?
surprise me. Listen, there's an entire parade of the guy with the ice cream maker.
Yes,
so
I was
I'm pretty
just thinking
sure
of that.
Yeah. That'd be
Which I love. That's why I love when cosplayers just go hog wild nuts with just ridiculously obscure nonsense.
I agree. It's Valentine's Day on Monday, February 14th.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. At Gallifrey One, I was married back in 2013. How about that? Obviously in honor of not Valentine's Day, but the fact that it was a Thursday at the convention, but also just in honor of 3 episodes of Doctor Who. Doctor Who and the Silurians, episode 3 aired in 1970, The Seeds of Doom in 76, and The Keeper of Traken in 1981. Love episodes. I'm not sure there's a single female speaking role in either of those, but
I don't think there is. Sarah, I guess.
Well, so Silurians, I guess, yeah, Liz Shaw and Sarah Jane. And
Liz Shaw is there, yeah.
Well, how much
Nissa!
Nissa! Yeah, Cassia.
And her evil stepmother, or whatever, I can't remember.
Cassia.
I don't know that well.
Yeah, she's in there.
And also, whatever the old lady was on the council.
Oh, Camilla?
Well, I guess your woke demands have been met, haven't they, Stephen?
What's her name? Margot Vanderberg played her. She played Camilla in the Aztecs. That's why I'm thinking of that. I can't remember her name. And keep her talking. Horrible fan.
Yeah, you should really feel shame after rattling off all those other data points.
You really should. What do you got there,
Actually, you
Chris?
should feel shame for rattling off the data points.
Katura.
Katura, that was it. Katura, not Camilla. Katura. My first car was a Katura, a Nissan Katura. No,
I was going to say, that sounds exactly like a car.
Yeah. 1982 and 83, both days, February 15th in history, saw the premieres of new episodes with The Visitation in 82, and everybody's favorite Terminator, written by Radio Free Skaro live show guest Stephen Gallagher, Terminus.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the middle. It's Terminus and The Visitation.
Yeah, I especially like that first episode of The Visitation because we don't.
So do I. Yeah.
We don't know about it yet, and it looks nice on film. And
and John Savidan.
I still enjoy Visitation.
John Savidan.
Yeah, he is.
He's not even in. I don't even know it's him because Peter Moffat decides I don't need a close up of anyone in this episode. So I didn't know he was in it for years. John Savidan. Coronation Street's John Savidan. You probably remember him from when you were watching.
Big
Coronation
time, yeah,
Street.
Fred, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I enjoyed The Visitation for 2 reasons. A, I thought it was just kind of fun. But B, there's a Doctor Who book from the 80s that's all about special effects, and they focus specifically on The Visitation. So that's why I enjoyed it.
Oh, they do, don't they? Yeah.
I had that book. I have no idea where it is anymore.
Was that a Matt Irvine book? I want to say it is, with like the prototype Silurian on the cover and the neon logo.
No, I think it had the neon logo, but it was Peter Davis on the cover.
Maybe we're thinking of different books then.
It was like making of Doctor Who, but it was mostly effects.
I do recall that.
I think we're talking about 2 different books here.
But I think we are too.
There definitely is a Matt Irvine one too.
Did we get exposed to the Garm in episode 1 of Terminus? Or
no, God, no. They held that back. They knew when to have a tentpole ratings effect, and the Garm was that. And I think he showed up in episode 2 or 3, maybe, or something.
It was 2 was the next day, of course.
Yeah. No, episode 1 is basically just them wandering around hallways, which actually is episodes 2, 3, and 4. Let's face it, of Terminus.
In various states of undress for some of them, yeah.
Yeah, Nyssa still has her skirt on in episode 1 of Terminus.
Absolutely baffling. To this day, I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
Well, yeah, I know they needed an item of clothing for her to drop for the Doctor to find. Hey, wait, this is Nyssa's whatever. We're on the right path.
It really didn't need to be clothing. Probably.
No, it could have been her coat. Like she should have been like
ring,
wearing a coat.
anything.
I know.
Piece of paper in her pocket. Who knows?
Just a bit ridiculous. 1980s Doctor Who, just a bit ridiculous.
But even then, it felt a little out of place.
Yeah.
I assume that'd be under the category of something for the dads.
Possibly, although really, like someone dropping her skirt because she's feeling bloated is like, that's a very particular kink that I'm not sure needs to be.
I'm sure it doesn't need to be explored
in Doctor Who.
Or at all, frankly.
No.
Kink shaming. I'm doing it right now. Bloat skirting. Not again. Not for it.
1984, February 15th, part 2 of the Resurrection of the Daleks happened. Warren, you can't stand the confusion in your mind. That happened.
I really can't.
That day in history in 1984. Your favorite line.
It is a great line.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my favorite line, but it's up there.
No, that's right.
I'm just going to jump ahead and go to the next day for the haunting of Villa Diodati, because that was the episode that was broadcast last time we were all at Gallifrey One.
That's true, yes, and it was what a banger in the
it was
parlance at the time.
Yeah,
it was. That was a room full of people watching it together, and I mentioned before, one of the things that's sort of exhausting is sort of the arguments over the quality of the Chibnall seasons. And for that one bright, shining moment, like everybody in my room that was watching The Haunting of Villa Diodati was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that felt so good. It felt so good.
And I had watched it before we all watched it in your room as well. And I was still going like, this is so good.
Yeah. We were in a room of like, 20 people watching it pretty much shortly after broadcast. And then it was being, they showed it at Gallifrey One. Everyone, it was like they kind of did it like on the slide, but everyone knew what they were doing when they were gathering in the main hall at like 4:45 or whatever it was, and the place was packed, and just the reactions. I mean, golly, it's such a rare occasion to be able to watch an episode of Doctor Who for more or less the first time, together, like with 1,800 people watching it. It is, it was magical. It's such a rare thing. I've only managed to do that 3 times. Heaven Sent,
yeah.
And Chicago TARDIS, and of course Day of the Doctor. Like that's pretty much my experience.
Sleep No More as well.
I've forgot about Sleep No More.
See when you're feeling bad about not being able to gather in rooms in such a manner anymore, just think of Sleep No More.
There you go.
Could be watching that one.
But I can't let go of this episode. That. From the jump, the opening the door and the jump scare of our TARDIS team in the rain.
That ghost that they never explain, which is great.
And everybody dressed up except for the Doctor.
Yeah, the frocks. Everyone's in frocks and stuff, and candlelight.
They all look fine in those frocks.
Oh, they look fine. The way it's shot with candlelight for the most part.
Assad or Ashad or his name is just being a complete and total bastard.
Yeah, the way he breaks that poor woman's neck and they leave it in the episode, it's just like, man, it was such a good episode. It's my favorite of that whole season, and that it was up against some good, I like Spyfall, I like the Fugitive of the Jadoon, which I always have a hard time saying, so I just call it the Jadoon episode. Even the last 2 were pretty good. That was such a highlight. What an episode to go out with everyone watching, because Lots of.
I do like how Ashad just dies because he gets miniaturized. Just done. Bye.
That was kind of disappointing.
It sounded funny.
After
all his
kind of appropriate for
kind
of appropriate for a dude whose master plan was robots.
That's true.
I'm not against robots being a master plan unless you're Elon Musk, but
Yeah, if he was a Star Wars character, I'm sure he'd have a spin-off series by now, or half of a spin-off series by now.
You just wait till the R2-D2 era when you'll have to eat those words over and over and over again, sir.
But for some reason, Ashad is like, I want to make this village good again. Oh, all right, that wasn't part of your initiative before, but sure, we'll go along with that. Ashad runs for mayor of a small English village.
Honestly, I would watch Ashad runs for mayor of a small English village.
The Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, was a colonel at the time, made his on-screen debut in the still missing The Web of Fear, Episode 3, February 17th, 1968. How about that? We're still waiting for The Web of Fear on DVD, Chris and I.
Oh, my God.
For the BBC shop. It still hasn't shipped yet. Still hasn't shipped.
Listeners, you don't have to see the behind-the-scenes text chains about this, and I do. So just consider yourself lucky.
It's supposed to come out on February 1st, and some people who I assume didn't get it from the BBC shop anyway have received their copies, and we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs watching season 24 for studio recording footage.
You get again watching it again. I'm talking to Sylvester McCoy on Friday. I'm gonna just talk him about the raw.
Berate him mightily about this. It is his fault after all.
You could actually talk about all that, couldn't you?
I could if I wanted to. I won't. I will not bring it up. I might bring up the box set. I probably won't bring up the 25 hours of raw studio and location footage.
At this point in time, you will remember it much better than he would.
Oh, 100%. I remember everything about he was there, and he probably the only reason he has to watch it is because of idiots like me going, let's watch the Time of the Rana Regeneration scene again. All right, fine.
Stephen, I noticed that you skipped over easily the best multi-doctor story, The Two Doctors.
Two Doctors, February 16th, 1985. Boy, oh boy, we're getting close to that magical time. We'll talk about it in a couple weeks, but we're getting close to cancellation time for Doctor Who, but I love The Two Doctors.
Magical time, yes.
Yeah. I think I had incorrectly stated at some point in the recent past that the first time people watched Doctor Who after learning that it had been canceled was Time Lash, but it wasn't. It actually dropped in between episodes 2 and 3 of The Two Doctors. But
let me tell you, I love the book of The Two Doctors. I really, genuinely do love the book.
Only one written by Robert Holmes.
Not so much.
Yeah,
yes.
only one. I love this. I love The Two Doctors. It's good. Have you seen that one, Chip? I know that your classic Who watching isn't as because you actually did something with your life for the first 40 years of it. Unlike
the truth cuts, man.
Three of us, but
bits and bobs. But its reputation preceded me.
Oh man,
yeah.
Watch it clean. It's so great. I love it. Spain.
Every time we make fun of these things, I want to watch them again.
I know. We dump on them and then we want to watch. That is.
That's one I can safely say I don't want to.
Really?
Yeah.
I watch it a lot.
I'll happily wait to see it with the season 22 box set when I lay my hands on such a thing.
It's my favorite Peter Hal soundtrack. It's in Spain. I love summer-y locations in Doctor Who.
There's a guy from Brass, which is a very underrated 80s Britcom.
Who's from Brass?
I don't remember his name, but he's the snobby restaurant owner is in Brass.
Oh, James Saxon is Oscar Botchaby. Yeah,
he's very funny in that, and he's also very funny in Brass. Everybody in Brass is solid gold.
I've never
based
seen
on my
Brass.
30-year-old memory of it.
I've never seen
solid Brass.
Well, basically, it's like a working class family and a very rich family in somewhere in Yorkshire, and all the soap opera nonsense that goes on between them, and it's all done for laughs, and it's very funny.
I've only heard of it. I've only heard of it basically in context of Doctor Who actors being in it on the infotext.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
This person was in Brass. Oh, whatever that is. Don't know what that is, but. Let's see what else we got. I guess The Haunting of Villadilla is literally the only modern series episode to air this week in history in February. Because for the most part, until Flux,
it didn't air in February.
Yeah, because Flux is the only thing that's basically aired ever during Gallifrey One. This makes sense now. It's a bit of a fallow time for New Who in the early part of the year. So we only have classic stuff. I'm sorry, Chip. We only have episodes you've never seen to talk about here. And
I'll get by.
And indeed, episodes that no one's seen pretty much, because the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, Part 3, aired on February 19th, 1966. It really dawned on me when listening to Toby Haydock's Happy Times and Places on the Patreon feed. He just wrapped up the Daleks Master Plan. And he is talking about a Doctor Who story that aired literally once ever in history. It's original BBC airing. It was never sold overseas. Australia bought it, but it never aired it. And so it aired once. And there's still 3 episodes that exist for him. So that's
no
quite
repeats ever of it?
No repeats ever. Nope. Doctor Who rarely had repeats. The first ever repeat of Doctor Who was apart from the first episode on November 30th, was the Evil of the Daleks in between seasons 5 and 6. Yeah. You know, we're lucky here in North America being able to grow up and watch Doctor Who endlessly on PBS and stuff like that. Like, even in the UK, you had to wait until early 90s with UK Gold showing repeats.
Is that just generally a UK thing because of the way they made television? Like, is different than American TV where you crank out 20-odd episodes and just show them during the summer over again? Like,
I think so. Yeah, because they would do it in the 70s. Like, they would do, like, omnibus versions, like the Sea Devils and Genesis, the Daleks, and they might do that. Like, and that was your repeat. But, like, it wasn't a regular thing, repeats in the 70s and 80s. So, yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky here in North America for many reasons.
I wouldn't be surprised if that had things to do with, like, actors' unions and whatnot. Because
that too.
And obviously the actors would get paid for repeats, but never anywhere near what they'd get paid for a new program. Mm-hmm. And there's always pushes for new programming.
Well, I wonder. I'd like to know. British historians, if you're listening to this, let us know why there were so few Doctor Who repeats, or indeed perhaps repeats of any kind, in the 1970s and perhaps 80s.
Come on, TV detectives.
Yep. Genuinely curious about this, so we don't spout off about why we think that should be. So, anyway, that's all she wrote for the time lash for this week. The look back in Doctor Who history. So, but speaking of classic Doctor Who, I will tell you that a channel that we don't get, Forces TV, is airing some classic Doctor Who stories. Wow, they're airing Blake 7 now too. I'm thinking, A, what is Forces TV, and B, why do they now only get like 1970s television? I don't understand that, but they're airing some classic Who on Forces.
Probably
TV.
because it's cheap.
Is it though? I mean, God,
I have no idea.
No, I have no idea either. It's kind of fun. So yeah, we don't get forces. Obviously, it's like for armed forces or something overseas and stuff. And they get, well, I'm on a 6-month jaunt in some way station here. Let's see what's it's a classic Doctor Who.
But it's like still in general, anyone can get it if they.
This is what we fight for, men. Classic Doctor Who, and don't you forget it.
Doctor Who. Let's get military training techniques from Spearhead from Space, which is airing now on.
As you go over the trench, yell your best lines for a Tom Baker episode.
Over the trench.
And they get shot right in the face. Anyway,
I love that.
It got dark.
I love that the only thing more outdated than classic Doctor Who on Forces TV is our idea of what the military doing. They're in trenches right now.
That too, yes. Hiding from mustard gas, no doubt.
Yeah. Some Big Finish stuff. Listen, there's a big week ahead for Big Finish. There's a bunch of announcements happening this week, and of course some stuff that we'll talk about that just came out from Big Finish. But please don't believe me. Believe Steve Barry, head of marketing for Big Finish, as I chatted with him earlier about what's to come from Big Finish. It's a big week this week for Big Finish because it's Gallifrey One week. In keeping with the theme of this episode, the Gallifrey One Preview Edition, we welcome back for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic low those many years ago. It's Steve Barry. What's your title, Steve? Official press officer? Can I call you that? Big Finish?
Oh no, that's awful. No, I'm the head of marketing and publicity at Big Finish. That sounded like Richard Herndl the way I said that. No, I'm the head of publicity. So no, I have publicists working for me.
I didn't even look.
And all sorts. Yeah. No, I'm terribly important.
Oh, for some reason I thought officer. I thought officer would sound even more impressive, but no, head of marketing. That's even more
it's the old joke. Bring me the head of marketing
on a platter.
Yes.
This is, as I say, exciting times for Big Finish because you're really pressing into sort of like the full range adventures for all Doctors essentially at this point, including the very recent announcement of a new actor playing the First Doctor to boldly forge a future for the First Doctor adventures for Big Finish.
That's right. Yes, we. The last time we spoke, I think I might have even hinted at the fact that what used to be called the monthly adventures, that range was going to come to it. In fact, actually, is now the Guinness World Record holding monthly adventures range of Doctor Who audios. There are no other Doctor Who audios around the world who have beaten the continuous run of adventures that we've done. And if there are, then they're welcome to come and have a go and see if they can knock our crown off. But as far as I'm aware, 275 is the longest continuous run of Doctor Who audio adventures. The time since then really has been plotting and planning for what is, I think, probably would call a soft relaunch of all of the different audio ranges. So I would hope that most of the people who are the discerning listeners of Radio Free Skaro would know what Big Finish do, but we do full cast audio adventures. Where possible, we use the original cast members from the TV series of Doctor Who and indeed other series such as Blake Seven and Survivors. In fact, I'm just going to name Terry Nation series because I think we've got a fair number of those. Yeah, we only do Terry Nation. We may as well just rename the company. Tom Baker onwards, obviously, we still work with all those actors and have been recording with them for many years now, over 20 years. But it is true to say that the first three Doctors are no longer with us. And a few years ago, we had quite a successful relaunch of the third Doctor Adventures range with the actor Tim Treloar, who does, who I would say is not doing an impersonation of John Pertwee, but he is being the third Doctor in those audios. And I think that's the real key, actually, when you have to cast somebody in a role, that exists so readily in people's memories, and they don't need memories, do they? Because they could just go out and buy Blu-rays and DVDs and watch these series. I think what you need is somebody who isn't simply an impersonator. You need someone who is a strong actor, and through what I believe was quite an extensive audition process, we found a fantastic actor to play the first Doctor, and who we announced just a few days ago. His name is Stephen Noonan, and if you're saying who, well then absolutely, because he is not somebody who I think people will have seen on television much or in movies, but he is a classically trained actor who's worked as a company member with the Royal Shakespeare Company in Britain. So he is tremendously well qualified. Not only that, an enormously meticulous actor in terms of preparation. Absolutely adores Doctor Who. Absolutely loves William Hartnell as well. Loves that performance. And he has put in the hours in terms of studying. I think every William Hartnell performance, both in Doctor Who and I would say probably nearly all his work outside of Doctor Who as well. So he is, he's an astonishing, authentic actor, and absolutely brilliant in the role. As hopefully people who will have listened to the little teaser trailer that we put out, which has we wanted people to hear him first, actually, before they. I think most people naturally would say, like, well, come on then, let's see him. What does he look like? We wanted people to hear him first because we're an audio company, and we don't. And I think sometimes if you see someone's face, it sort of changes the picture of who you imagine they are. So we had an audio trailer with Stephen, and acting alongside Lauren Cornelius, who has been playing Dodo with us now for about a year. So those are the first couple that come out, and we didn't name the antagonist in that little teaser, and that character's called the Miniaturist, and she is played by Annette Badland. So you see Annette Badland's eyes popping up in the middle there. So yeah, I mean, the quality and the range of the actors that we work with is never ever ceases to amaze me. And actually, one of the things I really like about this new First Doctor is that they are, I think, someone who will be a surprise to people and who is up to this point not generally known. And I think that really helps in a way, because I think you will listen to him and you'll listen to his performance and you will fall in love with that performance, and you won't come to it with any preconceived ideas of who or what they are. So yes, one of our new actors, and of course the other, who we announced a few weeks ago, and I think is probably less of a surprise in terms of who we've cast, is that the Second Doctor is now played in the new Second Doctor ranges coming out later this year by Michael Troughton, the son of Patrick Troughton, and one wonders, kind of who better to play the part of the Second Doctor than the son of the person who originated it on television. And again, Michael, I thought long and hard about it, as did Stephen. Nobody takes on these roles without a great deal of thought. I'm not going to say worry, but I think they definitely both wanted to make sure that they got it right, and that they wouldn't have done it unless they thought they could do it right. Yeah.
Both have like different legacies to really be concerned about. Stephen with the First Doctor as a whole, but also Michael Troughton's got basically a family reputation to uphold here now. Absolutely, yes, yeah, and he's worked at it. And again, I say it's not a straightforward impersonation. He's not, he's not doing his dad's voice. He's trying to. He's spoken a lot to Fraser Hines, who of course worked with Patrick back in the day and still works with Big Finish now in the Second Doctor adventures, and in fact, who has voiced the Second Doctor in some of the companion chronicles. But when you come in to do full cast audio dramas, you want the full company to be working together. You don't really want to have one actor playing multiple roles in those situations. You want to be able to bounce off one another. And I know that Michael and Fraser have worked spoken at length and have worked quite hard at trying to get into the understanding of what that relationship was like back in the 60s between the Doctor and Jamie, and how a lot of it came from Fraser and from Patrick. Now, obviously, they can't do all the business. They can't do the stuff that you see on screen, but they can certainly, they go into the recordings with that in mind, the sort of playful way that Fraser and Patrick used to behave together. So there are as yet unannounced Second Doctor adventures to come this year, but they will be announced. I would say probably fairly soon. Perhaps being so awfully vague about when things are going to happen. It is the thing that people criticize Big Finish about. So, why aren't you telling me these things yet? Because everything has a time and a place, and we have to make sure that when the news gets out, that it is at the best possible time. So it's all carefully planned. It can be said, though, on the official Big Finish press release written by you, that April 2022 it will be the first Doctor Adventures with the Outlaws. Written by Elizabeth That's right. Well, actually, there's the Outlaws is the two. The Miniaturist and the Outlaws are part of the same box set. Yeah. I think it's just that the box set itself has got the name The Outlaws. Yeah. It is. Yeah. So that's April. Of course, you can say absolutely. I mean, it's not that far away, is it? I think long gone are the days where we would say to people, "Please, would you like to pre-order this adventure? It'll be coming out in 5 years' time."
We're trying to make it a little bit more short term now.
To tighten
the
it
investment
up.
Is rewarded quicker. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so that an Olympic whole Olympic Games cycle doesn't pass in between announcement and release of a thing. It
has happened. I mean, honestly, it has happened fairly recently as well with the Second Doctor. The Companion Chronicles. The Second Doctor Volume 3 was, and again, it's just purely pandemic, people's availability. I think it changed hands from producer to producer as well. And oftentimes, just production of audio dramas is hard, and there can be all kinds of reasons why they get held up. But the plan, such as it is that when people hear about things, they won't have to wait 4 years. Unreal. Yeah.
We don't have to wait long for Gallifrey One. It's happening this week. I can't believe it's been 2 years since A, the beginning of the pandemic, and B, since the last Gallifrey One, where, of course, I interviewed Christopher Eccleston on stage and single-handedly convincing him to become the Ninth Doctor for the Big Finish audios.
You did a fantastic job. Did you get the commission on that?
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. When I see Jason Hegel at Gallifrey One this weekend, I will be pressing him hard for that 75p that he owes me.
He's going to pay you nearly a whole pound. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I'm not going to say who you should maybe approach to speak to, who's on the guest list, but I can see a couple of names there that I imagine people would be very excited if you were to weave your magic again, please, Stephen.
Do my best. I'll do my best. There's obviously Big Finish panels happening. Perhaps things to announce. What can attendees at Gallifrey One and indeed Big Finish listeners and Doctor Who fans in the wider world expect this coming weekend?
Okay, well, you brought up the Ninth Doctor. So what we've obviously this month is the release of the final box set in what we'd call the first series of the Ninth Doctor adventures. So when Christopher came in to record with us, and that is called Old Friends, and it is coming out, as I say, this month. I think that it's the sort of thing people will be able to talk about when they get to Gallifrey One next week. I'm not going to point at any particular date, but I would say consult your calendar, consult your Ninth Doctor calendar and work out for yourself what possible date that Old Friends would be coming out. And it's the one with John Coltrane's playing the Brigadier. It's got Warren Brown in as Sam Bishop, so it's sort of a semi-origin story for how Sam Bishop, who is a Big Finish original character, ended up involved in UNIT. It's 2 stories in the box set. So there's a 1-parter by David K. Barnes, and then there's a 2-parter by Roy Gill. And I would just say to everybody, you don't want to not be online when that's released. So I'm not telling you when it's going to be released, but I'm giving you some very heavy hints, and I'm saying that you want to be there when it's announced. So that's as much as I'm going to say about that. It's I'm sorry. I remember saying last time I'm a terrible tease, and I'm being even worse this time as well. Do you have Valentine's Day in Canada?
We do, yes, we do. In fact, have Valentine's Day in Canada. It's not
I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about the colonies.
Oh.
14th of February is Valentine's Day in the UK, and we have something special. I want to manage expectations here because I have to be a little bit careful about when I say something special is happening, because honestly, if the Big Finish Twitter feed uses 2 GIFs of Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi in succession, everybody says, that's it, Matt Smith, he's a Big Finish. Peter Capaldi's clearly coming this time. When is Joe Martin Doctor series? You've just used a picture, you shouldn't have used it, So I have to be really, really careful about what I say. All I'm saying is that someone is coming back, and I won't say any more than that. So keep an eye out. There's a little Valentine's Day treat. Someone is coming back. And then, of course, there's Gallifrey One itself. And much as I do not want everybody who's attending Gallifrey One, and that's not me, by the way. I really do have to have a word with Jason about why I never seem to be invited.
Yeah.
I mean, surely he needs somebody at his side, you know. The press officer. He needs the press officer at his side, right?
There you go. That's where you could finally ascend to the role of press officer that I've given you.
But all I would say is if you are a long-term listener of Big Finish and you've been a fan of some of the longer series that have been produced throughout the years, you are not going to want to miss the Big Finish panel on the Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be dreadful, right, for anybody who's not going. Right. I will say that if there is an announcement being made, then you don't need to be at the event. But it would be, if you are at the event, definitely go to that panel. And that is as mysterious as I can be.
That panel being Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on
you have the timetable. You've got the timetable.
I sure do. This is the Gallifrey One preview edition. We are covering this whole the whole schedule for the whole weekend. So yeah, I'm prepared, Steve Berry. I'm prepared.
Well, yeah, all I'm saying is, so don't start chasing Matt Fitton around. Don't start trying to find Heather Challens, who's one of our newer producers. Who's been working with us. Actually, I say newer, she's been working with us at least a year now. And she's produced some amazing stuff. She did the Third Doctor's range, which is actually when you first got to hear the Second Doctor, because it was our multi-Doctor story. We kept that secret until the last minute. And she's been doing new series. Of course, we've got Emily Cook, who I'm hoping is going to have her Big Finish hat on for some time during the convention and won't be solely talking about Doctor Who magazine. Just absurdly multi-talented Emily. I don't know if you've looked at her Instagram account. She's like really good at the piano as well.
I didn't know that.
She's done these little short videos on her Instagram, and I'm thinking, I know that kind of people are polymaths these days, but honestly, journalist, writer, producer, pianist, she's just gonna become one of the most famous people in the world fairly soon. I think we're very, very lucky to have her. I'm just constantly in awe of her, and I think she's about half my age as well. So it's just, in a way, it just makes me feel really old and tired. But yeah, so some great people there, and we seem to have a lot of guests going this time. So I will be watching from afar, hitting refresh on Twitter, looking at the hashtag Galley1 for the whole weekend, as I do every week, or every year rather, when I'm at home.
Maybe next year. Maybe in 2023, when we'll have a little more of a wide open Gallifrey One, and the world can be wide open as well. And maybe then, Steve, you can.
Yeah, honestly, mate, I am still 2 masks at the moment. I mean, when I'm going into the local supermarket. So, yeah.
Here's hoping.
It's still remote working for me. Yeah, absolutely. No, honestly, I would love it to be over, but I don't think it is yet.
I know, not yet. Maybe 2023. Listen, it'll be a different weekend at Gallifrey One. It'll still be a fun weekend. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the buzz of stuff happening at that convention, of being announced at that convention. One of which, of course, is the Big Finish news that'll set everyone buzzing when they go to see the panel and everything else there. This has been great, Steve Berry. Nice to catch up, and thanks for joining Radio Free Skaro once again.
My wife calls it Radio Freak.
Which, to be fair, is accurate. Thank you, Steve. As he mentioned, yes, there's some stuff here that we've covered that came out like basically on the Friday. There's also stuff to come this week, as we hinted at, alluded to on Monday, Wednesday, and possibly Friday and Saturday at Gallifrey One itself. But the Annihilators came out with the Third Doctor story, which they snuck in the Second Doctor after the fact and announced him. Of course, Michael Troughton playing his father, Patrick Troughton, as the Second Doctor. Warren bought it, but alas, didn't have time.
Have not had time to listen to it yet. No. I have the next week off, but that means last week I was working my bum off to get everything done in time. The way of capitalism, 2022.
Oh, I love it. The amount of work I'm having to do to shove aside for 5 days off, is a lot. So If you do have a chance to listen to it, The Warren, I look forward to your report.
Well, Tim Treloar is a great third Doctor, and I have no doubts that the son of Troughton will be a fine second Doctor. So.
Yeah. Yep. I'm very intrigued to hear what he sounds like because, obviously he's an actor in his own right. He doesn't want to just do a straight, recreation of what his dad sounded like.
And neither does Tim Treloar. And there does Carly, the guy who does the War Doctor, does a superb imitation, but he brings the essence of the War Doctor in addition to sounding a lot like him. So, and that's what Tim Treloar does. So I'm assuming the same thing will happen here. Yeah, just like as we mentioned in the interview, Stephen Noonan, who is the new first Doctor for Big Finish. They put out an audio trailer, which I had not heard at the time. When I talked to Steve, he embodies the spirit of the first Doctor, while not just sort of being like a straight impersonation and stuff. And so, it's cool. At long last, we have Doctor and Dodo stories. I mean, the John Wiles era, yeah, celebrated in Big Finish form with a couple of stories. One of which written by Elizabeth Miles. Liz has written a bunch of stuff for Big Finish, so huzzah! Good
for her. She's written the first one of the two there for the Outlaws, which is coming from Big Finish in April 2022. And then the second Doctor's Companions take center stage. I can't believe that they started recording these 4 years ago. 4 years ago, some of these. Companion range, which is astounding. They're finally coming out.
This is no surprise. It's always been this way.
I suppose so. I suppose it has. But so anyway, links in the show notes to order, pre-order, and download right away in the form of the Annihilators, which is out right now from Big Finish. That is it for this whole episode of Radio Free Skaro before some of us jet off to Gallifrey One. Everyone fly safe, be safe, have fun, be kind, and all that, because it's taken a lot to get here, both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, for Gallifrey One to actually happen this year. So appreciate
this is very true.
What we have, and we can celebrate responsibly. Chip, always a pleasure to have you on board on this show, and it always seems to coincide with a release of a new 2-minute Time Lord. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, or if you think, or maybe we just naturally have you on whenever there's something that is worthy of podcasting about. But I'm looking forward to 2-minute Time Lord coming back into my podcast feed.
Thinking about reconnecting with Doctor Who. When I reconnect with Doctor Who, I find the energy to podcast and break through the burnout. So there we go.
Mm-hmm. Where can you find it, Chip? I know you've been sporadic as of late, so where can you find the podcast?
TWOMinuteTimeLord.com.
Done. Chip, I look forward to seeing you this week in Gallifrey One. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you. I don't know. I know they mentioned that they have like the red lanyard or the blue lanyard, which is basically the red is say stay away, and the blue is thinking that it's cool. I think I'll wear a blue one. I think I'll be happy to see some people. So I'll have my name tag on.
Both and switch off.
Maybe
just switch between.
I'm throwing it back old school because since we're all wearing masks, you might not recognize me, and so I'm wearing the name tag that each of us had in 2009.
Mine is on my fridge.
Yeah, mine is too.
I found it the other day and I put it on my fridge
because it's a magnet, and so I'll be wearing that all weekend. So you know who I am. So yeah, throwing it old school. So yeah, the first Gallifrey One in 2 years will be kind of like the first one ever in a way. So find me, talk to me, stay away from me in that order, and we're all at the same time at Gallifrey One. So all right, until next time, everyone. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
Chris in Edmonton.
And Chip in Durham.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.